Well, we continue our USM Tech Thursdays today, and today we are at the Gulf and Ship Island building in downtown Gulfport, and we're talking to Balky Nair, who is involved with one of the companies that works with USM. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us about the who you work for.
Yeah, I'm Balky Nair. I'm the CEO of Oscilla Power. We're a company based in Seattle. We are a developer of ocean wave energy systems. So we develop systems all the way from very large scale, megawatt scale systems that go power coastlines down to very small systems that can power autonomous underwater vehicles like AUVs. And that can increase their range, payload, and lifetimes.
So exactly what do you do?
So I'm the CEO, I run the company, but the company itself is focused on developing a system that can move with waves and use that motion of waves to capture energy. So think about the equivalent of a solar panel, except that it's not the sun that's powering the system, it's the waves in the ocean that's powering things.
And people is so amazing as to how much power can be gained from the oceans.
Yeah.
I mean, because they cover most of the earth.
Yeah,
the oceans do.
There's enough power in the oceans to power the world 5 times over. Of course, not all of that is practical. We think about even if we can get a small fraction of that, it can make a big difference.
What does this mean for the community and for the blue economy health?
Yeah. For the specific systems that we're showcasing here, which are the AUV-based systems, we can use that for defense applications, for homeland security, detect incoming threats. These can be persistent AUVs that can loiter in the ocean for long periods of time, doing sensing, monitoring. Beyond defense, we can look at the health of oceans to see if ecosystems are working well by persistently monitoring those systems. So all the way from national defense to homeland security to science, research, across the entire spectrum, we can make a big difference.
I would never have thought homeland security or national defense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much different technologies. Who would have thought a lot of it would be underwater?
Yeah, we have all sorts of threats that we need to monitor, and especially monitoring the security of ports, for example, is one application that we're heavily focused on right now.
Why did you decide to pursue this type of work in a career?
Yeah, about a decade ago, when we looked at what technologies are lacking to make a big difference in the renewable space, ocean energy was a good mix of opportunity and lack of technology. So it's a good place to come in and try to make a difference.
And that's one of the great things about the programs, that the technology programs at USM, is that are offering so many different things. There's so many different choices. That's why we started doing this USM Tech Thursday, to let people know what is available here and how they can get involved. I mean, we live right on the Gulf Coast, you know, on the Gulf of Mexico. And I mean, the ocean is right out there to do work with, and there's so many different aspects of it to be able to work with.
Yeah, fantastic test capabilities as well as manufacturing capabilities here at USM. But beyond that, it's one of the best composites programs in the country, and we hope to leverage that in our AUVs, for example.
And of course, we appreciate your information on that. Good luck more in your future with the technology there. Balky Nair with USM is one of the companies that works with USM. Well, as we continue our series with the Gulf Blue Navigation Program, Declan Kerwin is talking to us right now. How are you doing, sir?
Doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Tell us, if you would, about yourself and the company that you work for.
Sure. So Declan Kerwin and I work with Seasats. We're a company that makes small autonomous surface vehicles, basically drones for the ocean. So yeah, if it's too expensive or too dangerous to send people out there and collect some data, you can put some sensors on one of our boats and it'll do it for you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
You keep the people in mind. So what do you do? And tell us about the technology that you use at Seasats.
Sure, yeah. So my title is VP of Operations. I get to talk with customers, help put projects together, basically just make sure that the things that our engineers do actually make it out into the world and get to do some cool stuff. As far as our technology, the boats are relatively small. They're about 10 feet long. They use solar panels, so they can actually stay out at sea for a really long time, cover hundreds or thousands of miles. And the other thing we like a lot about them is that we try and make them really easy to use. So you can swap out a payload really quickly. You can load it in the back of a pickup truck. Actually, we like to call them pickup trucks for the ocean because you can like put a different cargo on there, put a different payload on there really quickly, and it'll just take it where it needs to go.
And so initially, what do they do when you have them out in the water? What exactly are they doing?
Yeah, we've done a number of different things. On like the defense side, of course, there are some applications. Usually we're doing like security things, patrolling around a harbor or something like that, or collecting data, maybe way out in the middle of the ocean. That could be like meteorological data or radio data, camera data. And then on the scientific and commercial side, we've done some mapping as well. So if you want to like map out a channel or find something, a shipwreck or something else on the bottom of the ocean, we can help with that. And of course, some scientific applications. I know down here in Mississippi, it's important to like monitor the Gulf, make sure that like harmful algal blooms are not messing with the wildlife or anything like that. So we've done some acoustics monitoring for marine mammals as well as general like water quality data.
And that's important, as you mentioned, because of the sea life that we have down here and how much of the economy depends on that sea life. I mean, you got the oysters, the shrimp, and all the other, the fish that we have down here. That
Absolutely, yeah.
you keep an eye on that. What else does this mean for the community or for the blue economy health?
Yeah, I guess one of the blue economy has been growing very rapidly, obviously. One of the things that's maybe limiting that growth is just how many people are required and how expensive it can be to get things out on the water. So with a platform like this, I think that can really help speed things up. You don't need as many people to get these operations done, although you do obviously need some to take care of the boats and make sure that they're going where they're supposed to. And it's a lot cheaper to send out like one of these boats compared to, a 100-foot research vessel or something like that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Power them up by the sun and let them go.
There you go, yep.
Why did you decide to pursue this area of work?
It's kind of a fun story. A couple of our founders, I guess it was like 10 years ago, as kind of a garage project, built a small autonomous boat, kind of similar to the ones that we have now, and ended up sending it like halfway across the Atlantic, and that was just like a sort of a school project in the summer. And then a couple years ago decided to come back together and try making a business out of it. I joined at that point, had a little bit of background in UAVs, flying vehicles, as well as some startup stuff. So yeah, all decided to come together and give it a go, and it's been going well since then.
Got less than a minute left. What else would you like to let our viewers know about your program?
It's been a great time working down here in Mississippi. We're a San Diego company. Got about 30 people now. But yeah, getting to know all the folks down here, working with the University of Southern Mississippi and all these other partners. It's been a really great experience for us.
All right, Declan, appreciate you informing us on all this stuff. And again, so many different fields of technology working with the ocean that we have covered over the last few weeks, or last several weeks here with USM. There is so much more that's involved with them that we'll be covering over the next several weeks during our USM Tech Thursdays. So the ocean is out there, and it is the oyster of the world, and there's a lot of them in there, but that you can be a part of in the technology. So if you'd like some more information, go to the number on your screen or go to the website for USM.